I'm Nick Grackley, Director of Athletic Communications here at Angelo State. At the post-game press conference following the final of the South Central Regional Championship, which saw Angelo State claim a 3-1 win over MSU Denver, I'm joined by Angelo State head coach Chuck Waddington, as well as Caleigh, Enax, and Adeline Ortman. Coach, I'll start with you. Pretty good first two sets. Third set, maybe not as great. And then just a really, really tough back and forth competitive fourth set.
Yeah.
Just talk me through how you thought the match went from your perspective.
Well, sets 1 and 2 were, we won those sets, but set 2 was a dogfight. They started playing a lot cleaner. And we found a way to win. Set 3, they made a matchup change. They put their first team All-American, Riley Anderson, who's a rock star. She's one of the best players in the country. They put her over top of Addie, and Addie got her once, I think. But they really took advantage of that matchup, and so going into the fourth set, me trying to be smart, try to adjust, and they adjusted as well. They kept the matchup. It was a great move on Jenny's part. She's sharp. She's a really good coach, But we used a little voodoo, in that fourth set with some lineups and some things that we have never ever done before. Okay, never. But they stayed calm and they executed, and got a bigger block in front of that attacker. We dug a few balls and kept us in the match. And I don't know. Sometimes those things work and sometimes they don't. That happened to work today. And I want to give credit to Caleigh Garnett, who hadn't played really in any of the other matches, here at the regional. But we wanted to improve our scoring out of the middle, so I put Demi in the middle. Kyla's a really nice attacker over there on the right, when she gets it going. And she scored for us. She dug a few balls, and match point block, Just congrats to her for being ready for the moment, and I was a little nervous because when she went in the first time, I gave her 5 and her hands were ice cold. But I think they're always like that, but she was ready for the moment, and everybody on that team, they stepped up. We dug some balls, we set some great balls, we made plays. Ireland Ferguson made 2 crazy digs, and then she was the one that was setting when I took Addie out of the front row, and but we trained her all spring to set, so it's not like she hasn't set. It's just we've never done it in a match this year, not one time. We haven't done it in practice one time, But these kids are high IQ volleyball players. They stayed calm. When we talked at the end of the set, when there was a timeout, it was a tie game. And I said, you girls on the bench, you can be as loud and as crazy, and I need you to be as possible. I said, but the people on the court, we got to be calm because the team that executes at the end is the team that's going to win, and let's be that team. And they went with it, and they trusted me and they trusted each other, and they went out and got it done. So I'm just so proud of this group. When you look out on the court and you see all of our little 5'9" attackers and middles and rights and lefts, and Demi, who's tall, you can't measure just the heart and the grit of this team and how hard they play for each other, and that's exceptional. That's our culture. That's what we try to be all the time, on the court, off the court, for each other, with each other. And, I asked them if they were willing to do the little things before the match, and they certainly were. So I can't, proud coach is just the most unbelievable understatement you could have.
Well, I want to ask about the lineup changes with Kyla. Of course, got that block at the end, also had 4 kills. I think a lot of coaches always say, like, oh, be ready, you never know when your chance is going to come up. I feel like you as a coach practice it maybe a little more than maybe some other coaches. So just speak on these players who don't always get, all that playing time.
Yeah.
And is there ever any doubt in you whenever you make that change? Is there ever you questioning yourself, like, this player hasn't played in a while, how are they going to react to the moment?
If I overthought it, then I wouldn't do it. I think that we talked as a staff before the match. If we run into trouble, and we're not scoring efficiently out of the middle from both spots, because Sydney was scoring pretty effectively, but we just weren't getting consistent scoring. We were blocking balls, we were doing good things from Kate and Hannah, but like Demi can score. She's a she's just like a professional scorer, And so we talked about using Kyla on the right if the situation came up, and putting Demi in the middle to give us a scoring option. And the other thing it does is, because Demi is next to Addie, we can split hitters, and so we can have pin options at both pins, with our setter. So we're not just so predictable, and it's just something that you think about, and you come in with a plan B, just in case, and we went to it and it worked.
Addie, over to you. 39 assists, 11 digs, another great performance. But I do want to ask about the fourth set when Chuck makes that switch.
Yeah.
I remember with the Ram Club, I made a joke about Chuck running a 5-0. I didn't know that he would actually take it to heart and actually do it. So kind of what was your thoughts in the moment of like, did you think he was like, I don't know if a typo,
Crazy.
but
I remember coming out and being like, put that big block up there. Put it up there. Shut them down somehow. I know Ireland can set this. I was like, I just want to win. I'm like, we just do whatever it takes. We have to win. I had full confidence in Ireland to go back there and set. I told her that too. I was like, she has to know. And then we had that block up there. And I was like, they can handle it. So I'm like, take me out in my little 5'7" self and put those bigger girls up there. I had full confidence in them. So yeah.
take out the 5'7" girl to put in the 5'9" girl.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Caleigh, over to you. 21 digs, 8 assists, yet another ace again. Kind of what was y'all's plan defensively to try to limit a very potent MSU Denver offense?
We knew coming in that they had some great girls that could just hit the crap out of the ball, and we were just gonna have to accept some of those swings that they had good balls. But we just had to get in this. I just had to get in those splits, read what I could, and just go balls to the walls as hard as I could. We just had to. We kind of knew we also I feel like that mentality of knowing that they can put that ball away, giving them those good points and moving on is super important for us. So I feel like just going back there with the right mentality is the biggest thing for us.
As one of the captains of the team, kind of a set three that wasn't the best performance that y'all have had all year, and kind of a back and forth set four, was there anything in particular that you said or that coach said kind of during those times when the game kind of tensed up a little bit?
Yeah, I feel like for the most part we're normally pretty level-headed about everything, and so you kind of just giving the girls reassurance, all of us reassurance, we're fine, everybody breathe, we just have to we have to have fun. So it's kind of a big thing about believing in each other, having fun, and not putting so much stress on ourselves. We something that we've been talking about is you have to put the pressure on them and they can't put the pressure on you. Whenever you won't feel the pressure if you apply the pressure. So that's one of the biggest things that we talked about, and just controlling our side and doing what we do and not worrying about what they do and trying to adjust what we do to what they do, if that makes sense.
And Coach, to you, the second regional championship program history, first one since 2016. What are some of the similarities you see between this team and that team?
Well, we're going back to the same place. I think that's the most obvious thing. We're going to South Dakota. I don't know if anybody owns a winter jacket, but we'll make a stop at Goodwill. We did that the last time. We came out with some unbelievably awesome looking jackets. But, this team is different. That team had Mallory Blauser, Bree Sotelo on the pins, and they were two of the best kids we've ever had here. They're spectacular players and just really physical. Meg Parker was setting. She was a National Freshman of the Year that year. We had a nice team. This team is built different though. It's not you look across and you're not blown away by our physicality. You're not. We're never going to win warm-ups. But we want to try to win every point. That's our goal. We want to win every point. That's the mentality that we have, and these guys live it, out there on the court. And it started when Caleigh was a freshman. She would come in early and she would stay late, every day without fail, and almost to the point where we have to kick her out of the gym, her and Jaden together, and we've added some pieces to this puzzle that are just spectacular humans and have bought in unbelievably to what we do, and so is a high character team. That team in 2016 was a high character team, and I think this one is too. And we've had a lot of those here. But I love being around them. You know, they work their tails off for each other, and they're not working for me. They're working for each other, and I'm just along for the ride. You know, they're fun to be around, and you know, we'll go up there and see what happens.
And Caleigh, over to you. Coach kind of touched on your time here at Angelo State. Just speak on the growth you've seen from yourself and from this team and this program to get to this point.
I mean, I feel like from the beginning, like I know Jaden and I were like the only 4-year, like the people who've been here the whole time. And I feel like from the beginning, like this has been our goal the whole time. And this is like, we were dedicated to that, whether we were playing or not playing. Like Jaden and I, like, we wanted to set like the tone and the character and like our mentality, like everything that we stood for is like what has been the biggest thing for me. Like you can ask the team, like I don't get mad very often, but whenever we're not like putting in the effort, supporting each other, that type of thing is what is like, that's what really makes me mad. And so I feel like I've tried to really engrave that in our team and like supporting each other, like no matter whether you're playing or not playing. And I feel like just throughout the years, like we've just got more people to buy in every single year. And so whenever everybody does that and like you support each other, you trust each other, like that is the biggest thing that is like different about this team. There's not any issues on this team. Everybody gets along. Like creating that culture has been like the biggest thing for us, and like we've all been on the same page. And it's not really about volleyball. Yeah, it is coming in, getting that extra work, putting in that extra time, but it's more about us as a team and the character that we are and like how we approach everything, and it's just us as a team like being together. And so I just feel like as like a captain, I feel like from freshman year to now, like I learned a lot from those seniors as a freshman, and I started as a captain my sophomore year, and just from then on I've like learned like it's sometimes you have to say no, sometimes you gotta be the bad guy, not necessarily bad, but you have to say the things that people don't want to hear. And so doing that makes the team better, whether they want to hear it in the moment or not. And so I feel like I've grown a lot just trying to say what everybody doesn't want to hear, whether I'm not the nice guy all the time or not, and just making sure that character is our biggest priority.
Addie, back over to you. First year in the program.
Yeah.
You were a part of a program that was competing in the NCAA tournament, but now to be a part of a program that's now won the region. Mm-hmm. What does that mean to you?
It's the most surreal thing. I think coming into this program, I didn't expect to be so welcomed. I think I was just so nervous, and just coming in, and I knew Caleigh and I knew Jaden and Adeline, but coming in it was like something so surreal. I can be myself. I trust everyone. I can rely in every single person, and I know everyone else has my back, and that's the best thing I can ask for. So coming in to this culture that Caleigh has worked so hard for to get this team on, it was just the best thing, and I just wanted to support that, have her back as a captain, and just really enjoy the experience. And I feel like we've just had such a fun time in this year, and I'm so grateful for it. So,
well, Chuck, Caleigh, Adeline, congrats on the win. The Angelo State Bells, the 2024 South Central Regional Champions. Safe travels to South Dakota. We'll see you up there.
All right.